rin ako ashamed to admit na kalat ako noon, and also it was because of my father's death. Because I didn't know how to deal with it. So I turned to alcohol, I turned to partying so that I could numb the pain. And then everyone was parang, I guess, pinagbibigyan ako kasi alam nilang may pinagdadaanan ako. Kasi me drinking, partying, that was me resisting what was happening in the present moment. That was me denying my pain. It's painful to go through the breakup, and it's also painful to stay where you're not meant to stay. So which one do you choose? I chose the first one. I chose the pain of going through the breakup.
Updaters, another showbiz royalty ang makakausap ko. Alam mo, excited na excited ako kapag showbiz royalty yung nakakausap ko dito sa Updated with Nelson Canlas eh. Kasi talagang, ewan ko, parang there's this sense of parang excitement kung ano yung sasabihin, at saka kung lalo na pag matagal-tagal mo nang hindi nakakausap, katulad nga nitong my good friend, Maxine Magalona. Hi, Max!
Hi, Nelson! Oh, thank you for having me, and congratulations on your podcast.
Oo, at finally natuloy din kasi
Bye.
sabi ko, kukulitin talaga kita. Di ba parang medyo matagal-tagal tayo hindi nagkita eh. Sabi ko,
Sobra.
Max, iba yung glow mo. Like, iba. Like, di ba, alam ko eh, di ba, parang, you know what I mean, right?
Yes.
So, parang, normally, pag sinasabihan ko siya ng ganon, mag-aano yan, hey, ang daming ganon. Pero this time, parang, in a calm, soothing way, sabi niya, thank you, I've been working on that.
Yes, sabi, exactly.
Bakit ganyan kaganda yung aura mo? Bakit ganyan yung glow mo? Bakit parang there's, alam mo yung, namimigay ka ng peace.
Yes, yes. Kasi yun yung na-realize ko, Nelson, that peace of mind, it's a gift, and it's something that you really have to work hard to get. Alam mo yun, parang it's not easy to achieve inner peace. And I think the reason why I am this way right now, why my energy is like this, is because I have been doing the work to face my pain. That's it. Kung baga parang everything that I've been through, dati kasi nung mas bata ako, I used to resist. I used to not accept kung ano yung pinagdadaanan ko. I felt like life was being unfair. I felt like pinagtitripan ako ng universe sa lahat ng mga pinagdadaanan ko before.
Yes, alam ko yan. At nakita ko yung face na yan, that you were angry with the world.
Sobra. Diba? Kasi this is what happens when we grow up with a lot of painful experiences, and syempre we all go through pain, diba? But what we didn't learn when we were much younger is how to deal with that pain. Wala talagang nagturo sa atin. Kung baga in school, we go to school to study math and science, but not really to study about our emotions and to learn about how to deal with negative energy. So yun yung natutunan ko when I got beautifully stranded in Bali during the pandemic. Doon ako dinatnan ng pandemic during 2020. I was there for a total of 1 year and 1 week.
No way. Like
I'm not
1
kidding.
year? Like 365 days.
Plus 1 week, yes.
Plus
Ang
1
nangyari
week.
kasi, I took a teacher training there, and I flew there February 29 of 2020. Pagdati ang teacher training ko at that time was March 1 to 24. Yun yung schedule. March 15 nag-lockdown, remember? So global lockdown March 15. I was in Bali. And at that time, I was panicking. Of course, it was very stressful and overwhelming to get to be in a different country while the global lockdown was happening. But what happened there was, I took it as a challenge for myself. Na if umuwi ako in a panic, it means I gave in to my fear. But what I wanted to do at that time was to surrender, and I wanted to trust God's plan. So I didn't go home in a panic. Instead, I said, feeling ko 2 months lang tong pandemic na to. Sabi ko, dito na lang ako. And then I ended up staying, and then yun na nga, 1 year akong nandun. Siyempre maraming fears that came up. Ang dami kong kinatakutan na inisip ko, what if magkasakit ako doon? What if maubusan ako ng funds? And then the more I surrendered, the more I trusted God's plan, the more dumating yung answers one by one. Discounted lahat ng mga presyo ng mga restaurant, ng mga hotel, kasi kailangan nila kami magstay doon eh. So parang the people who were stranded there plus the local businesses, we were all working together para naman makasurvive kaming lahat. So I felt that my time there was very much needed so that I could heal myself. And then as a yoga and meditation teacher, I could also pass the teachings when it was time for me to go back to Manila. And that's exactly what happened. So I think the reason why you can see this new aura, this new glow sa akin, it's because I have been facing what I need to face inside of myself. And I realized dati, kahit anong makeup ang ilagay ko, kahit anong mamahaling damit at bag ang suot ko, kung hindi ka talaga okay sa loob, lalabas sa labas yan eh. Makikita at magre-register sa labas. So now, I realized I had to go through that healing journey so that I can be who I am today.
Nakaka-proud. Gusto kong maiyak. Parang, my girl is grown up.
Diba, Nelson, we never thought that this day would come. Hindi rin ako ashamed to admit na kalat ako noon. And also, it was because of my father's death. Because I didn't know how to deal with it. So I turned to alcohol, I turned to partying so that I could numb the pain. And then everyone was parang, I guess, pinagbibigyan ako kasi alam nilang may pinagdadaanan ako. So parang lahat ng tao nakikitang ganun yung behavior ko in public. But it was also because I was going through something. But I guess now that I am healing, I can share that, whatever pain we go through, it's not an excuse to be irresponsible and to have negative energy. It's not an excuse. Whatever we go through in life, it is a test and it is a challenge for us to rise above those negative experiences and to choose healing, to choose the path of, choosing to do the right thing kesa yung nagpapatalo tayo dun sa nangyari sa atin.
Okay, I know this may sound unfair, ha? Like parang, of course, some people probably would tell you na parang, anak ni Francis Magalona naman yan. I mean, showbiz royalty yan eh. Parang pain. Wala namang pain yan. Wala namang pinagdadaanan yan. Diba? So parang entitled yan.
Sobrang gets. I get that. I get those comments. Like they say, meditation, pang mayaman lang yan or something like that. Or kunyari parang sinasabi na porket artista and porket we are in the limelight, they think that when we share our vulnerable moments and experiences, na nagpapaka-OA tayo or overly dramatic. Feeling nila porket we are in the limelight or artista, that we do not have the right to feel pain. But I'm here to share that whether you are in a different status, you come from a different background, whether we have different jobs, CEO man yan ng kumpanya o yung janitor ng kumpanya, it doesn't matter. We all go through pain.
We all have pains.
We all have pains. And I'm not saying that some pains are bigger and more malala than others. We're not even supposed to be comparing. We are supposed to be holding space for each other. They may think na OA ako, pero my point is, I don't even have to divulge yung details ng pain na pinagdaanan ko eh. Because those are just, especially being a public figure, I feel like it's going to be irresponsible of me to, name names, to talk about my details kung ano talaga yung pinagdaanan ko. Kasi at the end of the day, no matter what I went through with a certain person, family ko man yan or ex-partner, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it's my problem to deal with.
Yes.
I am not here to blame others. I understand that their actions, I cannot control it. I can only control the way I respond. So what I would say to the people who say na I parang entitled ako because I am talking about pain kahit na quote-unquote maayos at maganda at maginhawa ang buhay ko, that's not true. hindi po natin alam kung anong pinagdadaanan ng bawat isa. Kaya nga sinasabi, di ba, be kind because you don't know the battle that they are facing.
Ang ganda nung sinabi mo na parang kasi syempre 'di ba normally ganun tayo na parang okay na yung pain mo yung tignan mo nga yung si ganito tignan mo nga si yung pain niya mas malala alam mo it just dawned on me nung sinabi mo yon na oo nga no we should not be comparing each other's pain.
Yes, totoo to. We tend to compare so that we can feel better about ourselves eh. Like ako na-experience ko na rin yan, especially when I'm feeling insecure. Titingin ako sa iba tas maghahanap ako ng mali nila para hindi ako mag-feel masyadong insecure. And then I catch myself and I'm like, that's not right. We're not supposed to compare. Kunyari, when I'm going through a painful experience, titingin na lang ako sa buhay ng iba tas sasabihin ko, okay lang, mas masakit naman yung pinagdadaanan niya, hindi na okay na ako. That's totally wrong. Kasi, ano tawag dito? Kasi we are not here to compare our pain to each other. Eh. We are here to help each other how to overcome that pain. So what I would say is, we cannot compare. Usually people say that yung, huwag ka nang ma-depress, tignan mo nga yung buhay niya. Kasi uncomfortable din sila eh. They feel uncomfortable when they see you depressed or when they see you feeling negative energy. Instead of talking about it, kaagad, let's brush it off, let's brush it aside. Wag na natin pag-usapan kasi weird and uncomfortable. But what I would share is the only way that we can truly deal with pain is when we can actually talk about it. And of course, we choose the people we talk to. Hindi naman yung parang kailangan ibuhos na lang natin lahat ng sama ng loob natin sa lahat ng nakikita natin. But more of healing, it requires you to face your pain, to talk about it, to acknowledge saan ba nanggagaling yung pain mo. So hindi natin pwedeng sabihin yung, wag na natin pag-usapan yan, masyado kang depressed, i-let go mo na lang yan, iinom na lang natin yan. Hindi pwede yon. Kasi the more you distract yourself from that pain, the more your pain is going to build up and in bigger ways, it's going to get your attention later on.
Exactly.
Sasabog ka, maglalasing ka, tas hindi mo na maalala kasi hindi mo pinansin yung nararamdaman mo.
And when you wake up the following day, the pain's still there. It's still going to haunt you.
At may hangover ka pa kasi ininom mo.
Okay, you were talking about pain kanina. And ako, personally, I've seen you in a lot of your pains. When you talk about pain, at ang unang-unang lumalabas sa bibig mo is the death of your father.
Yes.
Hanggang ngayon ba dala-dala mo yun? Or are you over it? Parang ang feeling ko kasi you don't get over a pain as as big as that eh.
You don't. You learn to live with it, but in a healthy way. Kumbaga, the person that I am today, I owe so much of that to losing my father because I feel that in when he passed away, it really made me find myself. Kasi for the longest time, kilala ako bilang anak ni Francis M. And then nung nawala siya, plus best friend ko pa siya, I considered him my best friend, parang feeling ko yung buong mundo ko gumuho. Alam mo yon? So when I was going through that painful experience, hindi ko na-realize 5 years na pala akong tuloy-tuloy umiinom at pumaparty. Kasi nagsimula yan, syempre masakit, ininom ko, tapos I kept making an excuse. Umiinom ako, naglalasing ako kasi nawala si Papa eh. And then 5 years na pala, ganun pa rin yung excuse ko. So you get caught in that cycle of distracting yourself, numbing the pain, and then when you wake up the next day, nandyan pa rin naman. So what I had to do was, I had to come to terms with it. I had to accept it. Kasi me drinking, partying, that was me resisting what was happening in the present moment. That was me denying my pain. And then when I started accepting, turning inward, feeling that pain, crying when what I needed to cry. Lahat ng emotions na hindi ko pinansin nung 5 taon na yon, iniyak ko siya, hinarap ko siya, dinamdam ko siya, and finally tinanggap ko. Tinanggap ko that my dad's death is a part of my human experience, and it is one of my unique assignments from God. Feeling ko kasi lahat ng mga pinagdadaanan nating challenges sa buhay natin, yan yung mga unique assignment na binibigay sa atin ni God na alam niyang kaya nating daanan. Hindi niya tayo binibigyan ng pagsubok na hindi natin kaya. Akala lang natin hindi natin kaya. Pero when I started accepting that death, the death of my dad, when I started turning inward, mas napalapit ako kay God. Kasi doon ko na-realize na kaya tayo dumadaan sa pagsubok. Dahil yun yung si God na kinakalabit na tayo. Dahil masyado na tayong napalayo sa Kanya. Masyado na tayong na focus dito sa iba nating mga ginagawa sa mundong ito na nalimutan na natin yung personal na relationship natin with God. So what happened was I developed a strong relationship with God. I accepted my dad's death and I cried what I needed to cry, and then I became lighter. I became more conscious of what was happening around me and inside me. And what I would say is accepting, surrender.
More open.
More open, more accepting, more trusting God's plan. Kasi hindi papayagan ni God na mangyari to kung walang purpose. Our pain always serves a purpose, and that is what I needed to go through para makilala ko rin yung sarili ko. Kahit gaano kasakit yun marinig for me, na I had to lose my dad in order to find myself, I accept na yun talaga yung kinailangan kong daanan. And of course, being the person that I am now, hindi na umiinom, hindi na pumaparty, this is what would make my dad proud, di ba? Hindi yung pumaparty ako, hindi yung nagiinom ako at malungkot. I'm sure my dad would want to see me this way. So yes, there are still sometimes, especially Father's Day, masakit, malungkot, but the more I accept, the more I understand, okay lang sa akin kahit minsan masakit. Hindi ko siya tinatakbuhan, hindi ko na siya tinatalikuran. Tinatanggap ko na losing a loved one, especially the closest one to you, I accept that it will hurt once in a while, but it's okay. Tanggap ko, hindi ko na siya tinatakbuhan. And mas napapalakas pa ako ng pain na yon. Kasi that pain actually allows me to be creative. Sometimes I write something for my dad, or nagpo-post ako ng something that can help the mental health of other people. It makes me creative. My pain makes me creative. It makes me creative enough to transform the negative energy to positive energy.
Wow. Wow. Sorry, bubuelta lang ako okay, I will be honest with you Nung time na yon, ang feeling ko you never trusted anyone.
Ay, oo.
You're angry with everyone. You don't trust anyone. You just want company, but you don't trust the people around you.
No. I wanted company. And even if I was surrounded with so many people, I always felt alone. Ganon yung feeling ko. And that was because of the trauma that I went through. Wala akong sinisisi, Nelson. Wala akong sinisisi sa kung ano man ang pinagdaanan ko. But I also understand that the way I was before, very unconscious, very unaware, very lost. I was really lost. I really didn't understand. And imagine, I had to be okay in front of the camera. So talagang mentally unwell. My situation was very challenging na I was going through pain, but I really couldn't go through it because I had to be okay to be able to work. So imagine, ang hirap. Mahirap talaga. Nelson, I wish, my hope is, sana mapag-usapan yung direct correlation ng showbiz at mental health. Kasi sobrang it affects your mental health so much. And I hope
totally
more
agree.
artistas and more celebrities can understand na, this industry can be very mentally challenging. Kaya I hope that they're taking care of their mental health more than anything.
Alam mo, Max, aside from showbiz, actually, in any industry kahit na sabihin mong BPO, kahit sabihin mong banking industry,
Totoo.
Basta nagtatrabaho ka, basta lumalabas ka ng bahay mo para makisalamuha sa ibang tao, you have to put on a face kasi, 'di ba?
Yes.
And sometimes you're unwell, but you have to be okay. And di ba, dapat nga sinasabi na natin, nino-normalize na natin ngayon, it's okay not to be okay.
Yes, yes, exactly. Like it's an internal struggle when you have to go to work and put on a mask na hindi mo man lang maamin sa sarili mo that you're not okay. Kumbaga parang pinipilit mo yung sarili mo maging okay because alam mong makikipagkita ka na sa coworkers mo. But my suggestion would be honest with yourself. Be honest. Kahit sa sarili mo lang aminin mo hindi ako okay today. Tapos pagdating mo sa work, you can put on a happy face and then maybe choose someone that you can talk to and say, pwede bang tulungan mo ako today? Hindi ako okay. Basta, yan. Alam mo yun, parang let's find ways to navigate our way nang hindi tayo nagsisinungaling sa sarili natin. Hindi kailangan magsinungaling, kailangan natin magpakatotoo. Kaya tayo nagsa-struggle with mental health is because we are not being honest with ourselves. We are not dealing with what we need to deal with inside because we need to be okay. So ang mangyayari, hindi ka okay, pupunta ka sa work, you will lie to everyone na okay ka, and then pag uwi mo sa bahay, nakalimutan mo na hindi ka pala okay. Tapos nagpapatong-patong na. Kasi hindi mo siya hinarap.
Exactly. And I would like to know, Max, parang what's the tipping point? Bakit, ano yung
Yes.
Ano yung trigger na, kumbaga, kailangan ko na iwan to. This is not doing good. This is not doing me good. Ayoko na nito.
Okay. When it comes to romantic relationships or a job or something na nandyan ka, tas you're having second thoughts kung tama pa ba tong decision na to para sa akin? Tama pa ba tong situation na to para sa akin? What I would answer is, the moment you don't feel safe to be yourself anymore, that's your cue to go. Because you have to feel safe. You have to be okay to be who you are. The moment na kunyari sa trabaho mo, kailangan mo mag-pretend kasi yung boss mo ayaw makita yung totoong ikaw, I think that's a cue for you to go because you have to go to places where you are valued, where you are celebrated. So even in toxic relationships, if you are walking on eggshells, if you find yourself having to change yourself so that your partner will approve of you, that for me is already an unsafe environment. And that's your cue to leave. And I know it's easier said than done. But to think about this, 5 years ka nang nasa toxic relationship or sa toxic job environment na yan, alam kong sinasabi mong sayang yung 5 years. Pero anong mas sayang? Yung 5 years o yung plus 10 years na hindi ka pa umalis. Tas tinuloy-tuloy mo pa. So when you're starting to feel na parang hindi na tama, always listen to your intuition. Yung gut feeling natin, Nelson, yung gut feel. Kasi ang problema natin, Nelson, sa mundo ngayon, we are overthinking and yet we are underfeeling. We have to feel our way through our journey. We have to feel if this is the right decision. And how do we feel? We feel it in our body. The body will tell you, wag tayo dyan. And you have to trust that. Wag tayong magpaka-stuck sa utak natin because our minds are just logical. They are just there to protect you, to intellectualize the situation. But at the end of the day, you also have to listen to your heart. So it's always a combination of head and heart. It can't just be one. So we have to change our overthinking ways and allow our hearts to feel. Drop into our hearts and feel, tama ba tong desisyon na to para sa akin? And trust that kasi hindi ka bibiguin ng soul mo. Hindi talaga.
Sa nangyari sa'yo, well, obviously, you were in a toxic relationship with yourself for 5 years.
Yes.
And I think that's the most toxic any person can be. Yung relationship mo sa sarili mo at toxic siya. Ngayon, ano yung nangyari? What's the trigger sa'yo? Kaya mo sinabing, ayoko na.
Yes, tama ka, Nelson. Hindi yung mga toxic relationships natin with our partners or families, yung toxic relationship with ourselves. Yan ang pinaka nakakalason talaga. Kasi the most important relationship that you will ever have is your relationship with yourself and your relationship with God. That's it. You have to keep a strong relationship with yourself, meaning kilala mo dapat ang sarili mo. And the tipping point for me was when I started getting disgusted with myself was I was probably around 28 to 30. Around that time, I'm 37 already now. Around 30 to 33 years old. During that period, I was getting disappointed and disgusted with myself because I would have what I would call adult tantrums. I would explode over the smallest reasons. I would have these mga outrage, outbursts, and then I would kick doors and punch walls. And it's very unattractive. And I kept asking myself, where is that anger coming from? Alam mo yun, konting may banggitin lang yung tao sa paligid ko. Pag hindi ko nagustuhan, sasabog na ako. Hindi naman niya kasalanan, hindi niya alam na matitrigger ako doon, di ba? So what I learned in my journey is, you can't control other people kahit pinoprovoke ka nila. You can't control them. You can only control the way you react. So when I started seeing na hindi na proportion yung reaction ko dun sa nangyayari, dun na ako nag-decide na kailangan ko na ng professional help. And that's when I started going to my psychiatrist back in, I think, 2019. So, yes, yun. Yun yung nangyari.
Grabe. You know, I feel so guilty as a friend.
Why?
No, because hindi ko alam na ganun nakagrabe yung pinagdadaanan mo. I've always thought you were okay.
But what I would say, Nelson, is I'm so grateful to you and Aubrey for accepting me kahit si Maxine magulo na ako noon.
Oo.
Iba pa yung energy ko noon, but you guys were always just so nice to me and accepting kahit na ganun yung pinapakita ko. I'm sorry. I would like to apologize for how I used to behave when I was younger. But I'd also like to thank you for being non-judgmental towards me.
No, actually, yun nga eh. Minahal ka namin dun sa mga flaws mo eh. Hindi dahil mabait ka, hindi dahil, you know what I mean, right? Like, hindi, yung, there's no condition. Parang kahit na pag alam namin na, yung nalasing ka and you will say a lot of stuff na pati kami aawayin mo tapos makakalimutan mo the following day. Oo, nangyari po yon, like parang super.
Grabe.
Pero like, it's like, okay lang. Kasi parang ang feeling namin, okay ka naman eh. Pero ngayon, I feel so guilty. Bakit? Kasi, yung parang I did not dig any deeper.
Na parang, pero kasi Nelson, lahat naman tayo wala pang idea tungkol sa mental health back then. Kaya wala tayong idea. So that's why now, hopefully, kung meron mang mga nakikinig at nanunood nito ngayon, sana ma-realize nila na huwag tayo mag-judge kung meron tayong nakitang kaibigan natin na may pinagdadaanan kasi hindi talaga natin alam kung ano talaga yung nararamdaman nila.
Alam mo, maganda yan, ano? We judge a lot, we judge people eh. Pag nakikita natin yung pain nila, gina-judge natin sila kung paano sila mag-deal ng pain nila. Parang, mahina to. Ganito to. Ganito to. Or parang, di ba, minsan, lalo na pag yung malalapit sa atin, when they show pain, parang pain pa minsan yung binabato natin pabalik eh. Kasi di ba, parang, hindi ka dapat maging mahina or hindi ka dapat or I'm, hindi ako worthy ng ng binibigay mo sa akin ngayon. Not thinking na parang, baka doon tayo mas kailangan ng tao?
Exactly. Kaya nga, di ba, there's a saying, be kind to the unkind because they are the ones who need it the most. Di ba? It's easy to judge.
I will always remember that, ha? Maganda yan. Maganda
be
yan.
Kind
be
to
kind
the
to the
unkind.
unkind. Wow.
Because they are the ones who need it the most. It's easy to judge, Nelson. It's really easy to judge. Pero when I went through my healing journey, I promised myself na I will lessen my judgment of others kasi iba-iba tayo ng pain at iba-iba rin tayo ng coping mechanism. So for me, I don't judge people who still drink their sorrows away kasi dinaanan ko rin yan. But what I would suggest is, huwag nyo nang daanan kung pwede, matuto kayo sa akin, hindi makakatulong pag iinom mo lang ng alcohol yan. It's better talaga to face it, to deal with it, and if you have the means for it, seek professional help. But just don't be afraid of your pain kasi your pain is there to make you stronger and wiser. So, wag natin i-judge yung mga tao for the way how they deal with their pain. And let's try our best to hold space for them. Meron din kasi, Nelson, mga taong akala natin they're dealing with their pain. Yun pala, tinatambak lang sa atin. Ine-emotionally dump lang sa atin yung mga problema nila. But they're not really doing the work to solve those problems. So, we need to hold space, pero kung nakikita natin naaapektuhan na yung energy natin ng negative energy nila, you have to cut ties also with toxic people para matuto rin sila how to deal with it the healthy way. Naku, Nelson, marami na tayong pwedeng i-research ngayon sa internet, how to know if I'm being toxic, how to change my toxic energy. Wala na tayong excuse. Marami kang mariresearch na mga audiobooks, podcasts, para matulungan yung healing journey mo.
When you started your healing journey, Max, you think naayos mo yung ito, I'll be candid about this. We know naman for a while that there was problem in your family. Like, 'di ba, you were fighting with your sister, parang
Yes.
you were not being a good daughter, ganyan. So, ito ba naayos mo lahat ito after your healing journey?
Okay, part of the healing journey is cutting ties with relationships, kahit family pa yan, na hindi na nakakabuti para sa inyong pareho, para sa inyong dalawa.
Naniniwala ako dyan.
Exactly. It's part of the healing process. So, when I decided to keep a healthy distance, that's what I would call it. I kept a healthy distance from my family for a while so that I can find myself, so that I can understand myself saan nanggagaling yung pain. Now, I'm not saying na sinisisi ko sa family ko yung pain ko. Hindi. Ang sinasabi ko is, and this happens to most families, growing up, we become dependent on each other. We become a codependent family. Kasi yung energies natin na-entangle sa isa't isa. And hindi kasalanan ng family yon. It's just that lumaki tayo na sobrang close sa isa't isa. And then when we become adults, we have to break away for a while para mas makilala natin ng husto yung sarili natin. So even if it was a painful decision, it was one of the most painful things, Nelson, for me to stay away muna from my family. It was very much needed. Actually, it was the advice of my psychiatrist. And I had to explain it to my mom, and I also explained it to my sister Sab. Na-explain ko naman sa kanila eh. Pero syempre at the beginning, lahat galit pa. And then later on, nung nahimasmasan na lahat, naintindihan na rin namin na ay okay din palang mag-cool off. Gets mo, minsan sa relationship, kailangan natin mag-cool off.
Yes.
Ganun yung nangyari. Na-appreciate namin yung isa't isa on a deeper level kasi di ba, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So dahil we took some time apart, mas na-miss at na-appreciate namin yung isa't isa. And I am here to share that Sabi na we are okay. Last year, nag-reconnect kami last year and we talked about it. We cried, we hugged. And then now, dahil magkalapit na kami ng tinitirhan, nakikita ko na siya with her kids. Nakilala ko na rin yung kids niya. And then even my mom, nakita kami sa cemetery for my dad's 15th death anniversary. Okay kami. Kumbaga, no, time was lost, but no love was lost.
But it also
Nandyan
healed.
pa rin.
Time also healed
Kailangan.
yung whatever wounds na meron kayo.
Yes, exactly. It was very much needed, Nelson. I am here to say, for those listening and nag-iisip sila if they can cut ties with their family, kung sa tingin ninyo kailangan na gawin ninyo kasi later on, God will bring you back together when it's time. You have to trust that. You have to trust that.
Ang gaganda ng mga sinasabi mo, grabe. Di ba may kasabihan na parang if you love someone, set them free. Pero sometimes, di ba, ang kailangan mong i-set free yung sarili mo eh.
Totoo. At saka yung ayaw nating mag-let go for our own selfish purposes eh. Di ba? Maybe saka yung nangyari doon, Nelson, when I was trying to take a break from them, automatically akala nila it was an attack towards them. Na parang sinasabi ko that they're not good people. No. Ang sinasabi ko is taking a break doesn't mean masama silang tao. Taking a break simply means I needed space and time for myself. Hindi ibig sabihin masama sila. I needed it for myself and inexplain ko naman yun sa kanila ng maayos bago ko ginawa yung break. Yun.
How are they welcoming this new Maxine now?
Nagugulat sila. Nagugulat sila that I
Girl,
am...
ako nga nagugulat eh.
Diba? Nagugulat sila na I was able to mature this way. And I'm not saying I'm completely healed, Nelson. I'm not saying that I'm perfect na or whatever. It's more of nagugulat sila na possible pala mag-heal ng ganito despite lahat ng mga embarrassing and shameful episodes that I had in the past. Kasi mahirap mag-let go, Nelson, sa mga ganong nakakahiyang experiences. Mahirap i-let go at mahirap tanggapin. But once I started accepting and understanding that I was still very young, I was still very immature and naive, I did the best that I could at that time with the best that I had. Yun lang naman yung alam ko during that time eh. So why will I punish myself, di ba? So part of healing is accepting your past mistakes and your past failures and understanding na holding on to shame kasi nahihiya ka sa mga ginawa mo, that's just gonna hold you back in the present moment eh. That's not going to allow you to bloom and to flourish. So what I needed to do was I needed to heal by forgiving myself. That was my first step, to forgive myself for all of my past mistakes.
Part 1 pa lang niya ng ating kwentuhan with Maxine Magalona, pero ang dami na nating nakukuhang positive energy. Don't worry, updaters, dahil sa part 2 ng ating podcast with Maxine, more life lessons ang naghihintay.